A lot of people in this world search endlessly for some complex, magical formula to understand why some people are successful and why others are not. But it really just boils down to this concept of productivity. And all successful people realize that time is the most precious commodity that's out there. It's the one thing that you can't buy or ever buy back. Time is the most precious commodity that's out there. It's the one thing that you can't buy or ever buy back. Time is the most precious commodity that's out there. It's the one thing that you can't buy or ever buy back, so that they have to give it their absolute all to doing that task. Because going through the motions is the most disadvantageous thing that you can do. That often when you do something wrong the first time, you have to go back and do it right the second time. Whereas if you did it right the first time, you never have to do it again. And all successful people realize that they're going to give it their absolute all and put in their heart and soul to any task that they do, no matter how small or how large it is. That they're going to be the best person that they could be while they're doing it. That they're going to do it right. And the major difference is that the successful people do every single task right, whereas the people who are not successful do it wrong.
He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. And like any great relationship, it just gets better and better as the years roll on. So keep looking, don't settle. For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
The margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
You know, a lot of people think that what they do in life is beneficial And then they get frustrated when they don't see the results that they want, that other people are getting. You know, you could say to yourself, oh, I went to the gym today, so I'm better off because of it. But the question you have to ask yourself is, what did I do in the gym today? You know, what did you do in the gym today, and how did you do it? You could complain that it's your genetics that is preventing you from getting there. But it's really not about the genetics as much as it is about the effort and about doing the activity right. And this transfers throughout all facets of life, whether it is working on your schoolwork, or whether it is working on that business proposal at your job, you know, or it's even the small things in life, like cleaning dishes or cleaning the house. Because if you can't clean the house right, how are you expected to run a Fortune 500 company right? And all successful people understand that they're going to give it their all throughout every single task that they have to do, because time is so precious, and that they're going to do it right. So I hope you understand this concept of productivity a little bit better. And you need to ask yourself, what are you going to do today? But more importantly, you need to ask yourself, how are you going to do it?
Most of us get caught up in this trap of being perfect, of trying to live this perfect life, of never making mistakes, because we're afraid of being judged by those mistakes. Right? What happens to us in our childhood? We make mistakes and we get embarrassed by our peers. So that lives with us for the rest of our lives, that we feel like we're inadequate if we make mistakes. And this is such false thinking. All this serves us is inaction. Because your life will never be perfect if you learn to take action. And the movers and shakers of this world are ones who take action and think a lot less about the negative consequences of what could happen, what could go wrong. They just act out and they do it and have a positive frame of mind on the outcome. It's basically like you're at the bottom of a crystal beautiful staircase, and the top is where the gold is. That's where the prize is, this majestic nirvana that you want to achieve, and you want to get up there. But you have these muddy boots on that have spikes on them, and you're so afraid that if you take one step that you're going to mess up that crystal staircase, this visualization of the perfect life in your mind. And so you keep it there. You keep the crystal staircase in your mind because you're petrified to screw it up. Because it's safer to just look at it than it is to go out there and mess up the crystal staircase. Because that's what life is. Life is you wearing these muddy boots with spikes on them. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to scrape your knees. You're going to fall flat on your face over and over again. You can be embarrassed at certain moments if you let it. If you let people dictate what you're supposed to feel. But if you keep your eyes on the prize, you will achieve something that no one else will, because they didn't have the guts to go out there and do it themselves. they did not have the guts to mess up the crystal staircase in their mind. How many of you will actually put it into motion and actually go out there and do it and actually achieve it? That number is far less than those who say, I could have done it. Minuscule, a tiny percentile of 1%. Because it's such a rare quality to just go out and do something to reach the top when you're gonna screw up that staircase, when you're gonna make mistake after mistake. You're gonna scratch it up, you're gonna muddy it up. When you're at the top there, you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, wow, this was a mess. This was a long path, but wow, it was difficult, but I made it. And it's not even the gold at that point that you reached. It's not that top. It's how you climb the staircase that gives you that feeling that you did something that no one else did. You see the world in a whole new light. You have this vision at your fingertips because your character is now forged of an iron will. Because you went through the mud. You went through the obstacles. You went through the heartache. You went through the tears. You went through the fatigue. You went through the discomfort. You went through the exhaustion to become who you are today. And that, my friends, is the prize.